antique find. Actually, not an antique find. Antique, yes, but this was given to me actually by a coworker who knows I like collecting and selling and whatnot. But what I do if somebody gives me something that's from, let's say, they're passed down from a grandparent or whoever passed on to their family, and they know that I'm going to take care of it, that stuff stays with me. That doesn't get sold. So that becomes part of my collection. And what we do have today, it's a Griffin Shine Master. So the story on this was passed down to coworker Johanna uh, by her, it was her grandfather to her father, and then to her. So this has been around for quite a while. Got it over Christmas. Haven't really looked much into it yet. I wanted to save it for you guys. So let's take a look. So latch works quite nice. Oh yeah, cool. Check that out. So everything somebody would need back in the however old this box is. I'm guessing 60s, 50s, 60s. I guess around there. We're going to do some more research. We'll try to figure that out a little later. But I see what's in here. So we do have the shoe polisher, and then it's National Shoe Polisher number 688. So we'll go over all these, try to get a little backstory on these guys, see what's going on. Some leather dye. This one specifically mahogany from Culver City. So one thing I really like to do is find out where all this came from. And this one right there, Culver City, California. Some Nugget brand boot polish, some red stain. Cool thing about this, look at that little, how that is right there. That's neat. So we're gonna have to figure out. This is made in England. Okay, that's why this tin is a little bit different. I also like collecting tins. And then we have, this common kiwi. Again, you're gonna know the age is a little bit older, given that with this little piece right here, you know that it's has some age on it. I'm guessing the difference between, if you guys are collecting, this has a scan bar on it, right? And then this one does not. So automatically, this one's going to be older than this one. So it's probably 70s. Glass bottle. Angela's just like this one. Angela's from Culver City. This one also Angela's from Culver City. Black shoe and heel polish. Still has some polish in there. Look at that. That's pretty neat. For professional use only. Another glass. So it's kind of hard to see. I would have to clean this one up a little bit on the outside. If I could kind of read if it says, can't really see, but it is a shoe polish. And then here's Johnson Shoe and Shine kit for this wax here for tan. So it looks like different colors going on. No scan on it, so it's a little bit older. Given that, from this one from Wisconsin. Actually, there's two of them. So two of them, two different colors. This one's a brown, and then another kiwi. But this one is, let's see, from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. This one doesn't have the scan bar on it, so it's a little bit older. There's shoehorn. That's a pretty cool looking shoehorn. Look at that. It's pretty with the handle on the bottom here. I don't know if it's missing something there or not, but that's really neat. Not sure. Some kind of plastic material. Then you actually have a glove. Clean that up a little bit later, but you can see so it has markings from all the shoe polish over the years. So you just put your hand through here, put your shoes there, and then this would little thing here would be to dip in one of these shoe polishes. You dip it in there, get it, put it on the shoe, get that going, and then the box is a little bit dirty. So I'm going to end up cleaning the box. Go do a couple different things. As you can see, the box is good condition. It just the regular wear and tear from putting your foot up right there. And then what I'm going to do, keep hearing good things about the Howard's feed and wax. So we're going to give that a try. Put that on the box. See what it comes out to. I'm not going to do something like repaint it. I know certain things I want to tear down, repaint, get it looking brand new. Some things like I want to leave the patina. This I want to leave the patina, but I just want to give it a nice little shine and just bring it back to a little bit of life. But just really clean up all of the accessories that come inside. And if I find out anything more about these little guys, I'm going to let you know. Anything interesting, uh, we'll come up with that next. And then we're going to do a little bit of cleaning. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up, guys? Moving on to one of my favorite parts. It's learning, discovering about the history, and in this case, the history of all these items that were in the Shoeshine box and the box itself. Hopefully, you guys are liking what I'm doing here with this. If you guys are enjoying it, subscribe and share, comment. I'd really actually like to know if you guys have any of these items, have seen these items, what you know about them. Yeah, share all that knowledge. I think it's important to save history, to talk about history of these antiques and everything else. With that, let's get into it. So these two Angelus uh, bottles here, uh, this the black sole and heel polish, and the leather dye. This one's a mahogany. Back, like I said earlier, from Culver City, and this company is actually pretty interesting. These 1950 bottles were by the company that was started in 1907. Angelus started in 1907 by Greek immigrant Paul Angelo. Uh, Mr. Angelo himself started shining shoes back in Chicago and then on to Los Angeles. And by 1924, he had a 5-story building in Los Angeles selling his products. And this company still exists today. It's still family ran. It's the 5th generation now that's running the company. So you can actually still buy their products brand new. Then on to this Nugget brand here. It's from England. You guys can see on the back there, from England, made in England. Uh, 1920s. This tin right here. Why is it 1920s? This Tony Red stain that it gives it away right there. Pretty neat. It says it's in grams, 45 grams. Um, and but this company was established in 1898 in England, and they went through some mergers in 1929, and then was eventually taken over by a company called Rickett and Son. And by 1967, the company was unfortunately it was gone, the Nugget Company. Years later, actually recently, the name of the company was picked up by fossil founder Tom Kartsatz. So he now owns the brand name Nugget. On to these two guys right here. So it's Johnson's shoe shine kit, one brown and a tan. These are fairly common. They actually didn't last very long. These are from the from the 60s and 70s, by bigger company SC Johnson and Son. They make all kinds of products now, but they had a little run with these. They didn't last very long, and they moved on from that, which we'll see again later what they moved on to. So the two Kiwi polish, the one brown, has the UPC scan on the back that gives it a later date, at least 70s, 80s. Whereas the other one, we're looking at around 1953 into the 60s or 70s, especially because one doesn't have the scan bar on it, the UPC bar, and then the other one it's because it's Pottstown, Pennsylvania. That kind of gives it away. Investigating it. That's why when you guys ever see these things, look for all the little details. You can start narrowing it down, maybe not to exact year, but maybe to the decade when this stuff was made. So this one itself is going to be older. And the company Kiwi was started 1906 back in Melbourne in Australia. William Ramsey got that going. Um, it got real big by World War One, World War Two really launched this company as a lot of the U.S. and British military folk got kind of used all this on their boots. So this got really popular, and ended up they ended up getting a plant in Philadelphia, and then moved it over to Potsdam. So as you can see there, where this one was, and then it was changed ownership, and then owned by same people who owned these, S.C. Johnson and Son, who now market the Kiwi brand around the world. The next one is the glass bottle. It's actually a Shinola. So Shinola, this bottle is around 1930 to 1950 glass bottle of Shinola. Um, it says Indianapolis on there, Indiana, USA. But 2 fluid ounces. So that one's really cool, and the whole story behind this one's pretty neat as well. Founded in 1877 in New York, and it was the largest manufacturer by 1917. So again, this was well, unfortunately, maybe because of World War One, that's what made this really popular. With again with the troops and whatnot to shine up the shoes, boots, and whatnot. And then through a series of mergers and acquisitions as time went on into 1960, and the company kind of they went away by that time. But Fossil founder again, Tom Kartzatz, who I guess he has an affinity for shoe polishes and whatnot, he ended up buying the name to Shinola. So he owns the naming rights for two of these. And Shinola also has another more history. Some people may know what it is, which is kind of funny. Which they came out with the phrase "You don't know shit" from Shinola. What that was, that came from the troops during World War II back in the barracks when they would say something like that. Kind of means somebody who's ignorant, somebody who, lack of a better term, I guess somebody who they think is dumb. But people would say, "You don't know shit from Shinola," and then people would reply, "That's why your shoes don't shine." So one person would say the first line, and they'll get the reply back. Another cool story is Shinola, a little reference in the movie The Jerk, one of my favorite movies. Towards the beginning of the movie, there's a scene that they mention Shinola and a reference to that line. The next thing here is the Shoeshine brush. Uh, National Shoe Polisher number 688. So 1916, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's the National Novelty Brush Company. And so they made a bunch of different things, from mouse traps to cookie cutters and whatnot, and brushes. So a brush like this would have been part of a bigger kit, but this is just one of them. Company still actually exists today. They make different things for pharmacy companies, pharmaceuticals, plumbing, automotive, all those different type of sectors. So they're still alive and going. On the shoehorn here is we're thinking made in Italy. It's missing the back piece here, which could have been bamboo, whatnot. Different. items could have been attached to it. That makes it a little difficult to find out exactly all the information about it. But it looks like it's made in Italy and made for it's to plastic to make to look like tortoise shell. I don't believe this is actual tortoise shell. They had them that were tortoise shells. This could be it. But I don't know. By the 70s, I think they stopped using that type of shell. So, but this is from Italy. Pretty neat. You just think, oh, it's a shoehorn, but it has actually has a story on it. And the box itself, the Griffin Shine Master box. So this box goes back to the 50s, 60s. Um, and this company, the Griffin Company, was founded back in 1890 in Brooklyn, New York. So New York comes out again by Tony Astaire. And sorry, Tony uh, asked. Uh, so he's actually credited with inventing the actual Shoeshine box and the polish. He was famous. You guys see those pictures and videos in New York in the financial district of the high back chairs and all the important people over there getting their shoes shined in those big chairs. He actually invented. Those are all his uh, chairs, and that's what he had around Manhattan. That's how he made his money, and then ended up having a business selling all of his products, which went away in the 1950s. And but now the name has reemerged, the Griffin name, and it's selling Shoeshine products again. So now the Griffin name, it's not the same people that own it. There's a big gap in history, but it's cool to see that the Griffin company is back and selling those types of products. So let me know what you guys think about the history on these until we move on to just doing a simple cleaning real quick. Uh, I'll kind of want to leave the patina on it and just trying to preserve the history on these guys. Thanks. All right, guys. So now we move on to cleaning everything that's in the box itself. So my process: get a rag, a little bit wet, just some water on it, just to get the rest of the dust off of it. Because in a little bit, we're going to end up putting the Howard's funeral wax on it. So all you're doing is just getting all the dust off of it, and you want it to sit for a little while it's we clean the other product. And that's because when you put the Howards on it, you don't want the moisture on the box. So we're just going to give it a little cleaning right there, get all that dust off of it. Okay, we're going to keep using this rag. What we're going to end up doing while that dries is just cleaning these items in here, and it doesn't take much. I'm doing the same thing where I'm just getting everything wet, cleaning it up. I'm not using any chemicals. It's not like when I clean my soda bottles with the ACL labels. I have a whole process with that. But these bottles here, I'm just going to give them a nice wipe down. I want to keep it original. There's nothing to restore or whatnot, especially with some of these bottles. They're the old paper label, so you have to be really careful with those. You don't want to introduce a lot of moisture on that because then you can rip the label, and that's the last thing you want to do. So we're just going to give it a nice cleaning. Uh, if you want to throw some Windex on there, actually always keep some Windex around. Uh, for the glass bottles, you can do that as well. So let me get one of these. So that's a paper label, right? So as opposed to you see a lot of old glass that have an ACL, the applied label, and that's different. So you could be a little bit more aggressive with those without ruining it. Um, but with this, all you want to do is just give it a little wipe. I'm not going to add chemical to it. Just want to get all the dust off of it. And if I were to use like Windex on here, I would avoid the label. You don't want moisture on that label. And it comes out good enough. It that's really what we want to do just to preserve it. Because look how dusty this is, and you just want to get something as simple as a little bit of water. I know if you want to come back and you want to take more time with these bottles, I have tons of bottles and stuff. But if people want to, go into one bottle and detail it, you can use vinegar and do a mixture and get this uh, really shiny. And if there's any like prints on here that you're trying to get rid of, then you can do that. There's actual polish on the label. Something like that. Don't try to restore that. Just give it a little wipe. Let's see what comes off a little bit. But that's what was there. To keep it the way it was. In my opinion, that's the way it looks. Same thing for these tins. See, this is different. With you could be a little bit more aggressive. So you could rub a little harder on these to get some of the harder spots. But again, I think it's kind of cool with the spots in here is it's wax. That's what's here, and so that this was used. This somebody had used all this stuff, so it kind of adds to the character. So you just want to do a wipe down like that, right? Get everything clean while the box dries out. You know, all these pieces, and then everything ends up pretty cool. Trying to go a little quick here for you guys, so I don't want to take too long. But don't over wet your rag. Some people do that; it'll be dripping. You don't want that. You don't need too much moisture on this. You're just cleaning the old dust off. Gives it a little shine. Even the wood here. If you want to come back and put some, maybe even put the Howards on the wood, we definitely do that. That'll be cool. But we're just moving this stuff to the side and you know wipe the inside of the box. Once you're done with this rag, we're going to end up switching rags. Once you do the Howards, it's going to be a clean rag for that. So just finish getting everything out of here, out of the box here. I'm actually going to flip this over 1 second into my trash can here. And then go back, hit those corners, everything out. The other thing I have is I like this blower. This is the Wolf Box. This thing, I love it. Sorry if that was too loud on your TV, but so instead of getting like the compressed cans of air, I switched to the Wolf Box, and I'm so glad I did. Rechargeable, and man, it does a fantastic job. And then it comes with a bunch of attachments and whatnot. But if you find a deal on one of those things, I got mine on Amazon. I was watching Dinner Tools, and he had a bunch of. He had shown it off a couple times. It's like, you know what? He's right. Like those cans of beer are getting expensive, so I use that. So that's all you want to do. Just get it cleaned off a little bit, and then you move on to the next step. So this is done. This rag is no more. You don't need that rag. What do you do next? The feed and wax. So you're introducing the feed and wax into the box here. So what you end up doing is putting it all over the wood. You wait 20 minutes, come back, and then you take that off of the wood, and then it's going to leave a nice shine in here. So what we're going to end up doing, and it's it's your basic, not basic, but this is really good wood polish conditioner. It's beeswax, and it has a little scent of orange oil. So get this stuff on here. And some people use brushes. Some people, have other methods of putting it on here, wiping it on. But what I do is get it on there, start swirling around so it gets in the grain. Try to get a light on here so you kind of see it a little bit better. See if that works. You guys see that difference already on there? Maybe that'll help you out. Sorry, hit the camera, but just work that in there. It's gonna get the finish real nice on here. And once you have this on here, like I said, you wait 20 minutes, you come back, and you wipe off the excess off of the box. So if you're doing projects at home, you're putting on wood, same thing, rub it on, wait 20 minutes, and then come back. So I'm going to continue on the box, and then I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. Then I will show you guys the final result. All right, so it's been 20 minutes. So now you get third rag. And you just, the excess comes off. Just in case you put too much somewhere. Everywhere that I got it. So got some of the feet on the back. Did the inside. Hope you could tell on camera how nice that darkened the wood back up to the way it was. So it's not so dried out. Pops a little bit better. I even put some on the polisher itself, the shoe polisher, the brush. I'll put some back on there. That came out nice. So just throw this back in real quick. Let's see, maybe lay them down so when you see the box open, everything's displayed for you. That should fit right there. And these right in there. Put the shoehorn across like that. Maybe on the side a little bit. Look at that. That looks neat, no? There it is. Easy, simple, fun. Again, thank you, Johanna. Hopefully, I did you proud. And I'm going to keep this one and put it up in the room with the rest of the antiques and proudly show this one off. I think it came out great. So thanks, guys. Don't forget to do all that good stuff like subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time.